most singers, if they played a guitar, would stand flat-footed and play and pat their foot. Elvis kind of stood on the balls of his feet. And if you remember back in those days, the big-legged breeches that everybody was wearing. And when he'd stand on the balls of his feet and played, well, he was still trying to keep time, but he's doing it with his leg, and the breeches would start shaking. It was a natural, was not made up. It was just a natural thing. And then, because the first show that it became apparent, we played the Overton Park Shell here in Memphis. And the little girls up that front would started screaming and hollering, and we did not know what the deal was. And came off stage, well, and Sam or Bob Neal, somebody made a comment about his shaking his leg, and he said, "Well, I'm not doing it on purpose, you know." Elvis, being the natural-born talent that he was, didn't realize it, but he had sense enough that immediately after that he started embellishing on it, and till you know, we've seen down through the years, to where just the crook of a little finger would just, you know, would do it. But it was a natural thing in the beginning. Like I mentioned to Pete, that I had sense enough to know that you needed to get some airplay, get a record out, get airplay to get better club dates and so forth. I had, through what source I don't remember, heard about Sam having a studio and a record label. Knew he was cutting a lot of R&B stuff that he was farming out or leasing to Chess and various labels. So I went to see him and told him what I was up to, and we took the band in and tried several things. Ended up cutting 2 sides. I think it was 6 of us in the band, and I think that's about how many records were sold. And but from that, Sam and I became good friends, and the job I had at the time, I got off like about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and would go by the studio, and if Sam wasn't busy, we'd go next door and drink coffee and just talk about the music business in general, and how'd you hear so-and-so, and hear this record, and what can we do, or, you know, and through this transition of, I don't know, weeks or a month, maybe, I don't know, Marion Keister was drinking coffee with us, and she mentioned to Sam, said, "You remember that boy that came in about a year ago and made that acetate for his mother?" And Sam said, "Yeah." So what was his name? And I think she remembered the name, but anyway, she mentioned it, and he said, "Yeah, we ought to call him, get him to come in and you know, do an audition." So that was all I needed. And every day for like 2 weeks, I'd go by and say, "Did you call the boy yet? Did you call him yet? Did you call him yet?" You know. So finally, he asked me and said, "Well, go get his phone number out of the file," and he turned to me and said, "Give him a call. Ask him to come over to your house and see what you think. See what kind of material he does, and so forth." And of course, you know, the minute I got home, I called him and told him I was, you know, working with Sam. Would he be interested in maybe doing a record audition? And he said, "Well, he guess so." And I said, "Well, could you come over to the house?" I think it was on a Saturday, Friday or Saturday. And I asked him to come by the house, which he did on Sunday. Spent a couple of hours. Bill Black at the time lived just 3 or 4 doors from me on the same street. And I told Bill he was coming, asked Bill to drop in. Elvis was singing, he sat there and sang Eddie Arnold, Billy Eckstine, Roy Hamilton, Hank Snow, just a little bit of everything. Bill came in, sat around there, you know, introduced him. Elvis left. I called Bill and I said, "What'd you think?" He said, "Nah, he's all right. Didn't knock me out, you know." And I basically felt the same way. I mean, he's obviously had a good voice, good range. So I called Sam, told him basically the same thing. I said, maybe with the right song and, you know, just the normal things you talk about, look for if you're trying to do something. And he said, well, I'll call him and get him to come in the studio. I said, you and Bill come in and we don't need the full band, just you and Bill come in just so I can get just a little background music to see what he sounds like on tape. I said, okay, fine. And so basically knew what happened from there.